Another startup, the second one of the day. This is a TAM air handler. We have a 16 SEER 4-ton heat pump outside, and it is getting ready to break loose here weather-wise. We've got some really nasty storms getting ready to roll through. We're about 10 miles from where I'm at, and they're moving pretty quick. So I'm starting inside. I'm in the attic. Decent place. Another system we installed, and this one was also finished at about 2 o'clock as well. So they've been waiting a few minutes. The system's running fine. Like I said, this line set, if it's thunder and lightning and raining too hard, I'm not concerned about the charge. This line set goes straight to the unit right there, sitting down there. This is a 1-story house. The air handler's in the garage. It's got a slab foundation, so this line set goes down there, and then like about another maybe 10 feet. It may need an ounce or two. We may have to come back. We'll just see what the weather's doing when I get to that point, but I'm going to go ahead and get in here first because it's already starting to sprinkle out there a little bit. So anyway, first thing I noticed, we don't have a display on our CDA. So why would we not have a display on the CDA? So I guess we need to check to see if it's actually plugged in on the inside. System's running. It's pouring water out there out the drain line. So I know our drain line's clear, which we replaced most of it anyway. This one's got the what we have to do now. They want 2 safeties in attics now, so we started doing this and the one on the drain pan. Secondary overflow goes into that pan, fills up, float switch trips, primary clogs. This one should shut everything down first and hopefully never get water in the pan, but things don't always work like you think they're going to, so you never know when you'll get that surprise. But anyway, just don't have confidence in these things. Just in my opinion. So I don't have any fault codes flashing, but I don't have a display on this CDA. So let's get the door off and see if it got plugged up, and then we'll have to go through and check the settings on it. Make sure our settings are good, and then we will check the static pressure as always to make sure our airflow is in the area it needs to be. And the CDA is plugged up, so I'm not understanding why we do not have a display on it. I do have another one in my truck if I need to run and grab it just to see if that's what it is. There is no display. I don't know what kind of voltage these things put out. Would it? Unless it's not plugged up at the board. So I'm going to temporarily trip the float switch, which did, and cycle everything down outside. Thermostat is what we break with our float switches, and that Trane thermostat takes a little while to reset. Meantime, I want to pull this out. red, green, black, white, red, green, black, white, red, green right here. So it is plugged to the board. And I'm getting an error code there. Let's plug it back up. And I can hear the rain on the roof. So we've got an error code of a 4.3. E 4.3. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, this is actually a 2-stage unit out there as well. So I'm going to disconnect Y1 temporarily in case the thermostat comes back into a call before I'm done. Keep the outdoor unit off. I can always reset the air handler by socket and power, but let's see. What does our error code of 4.3 mean? And they still give you a separate book for your service facts. So here the furnaces, put them all in one book. Let's see what our E fault codes are. Alrighty. 4.3. 4.3 CDA COM error. So that's going to be related to the CDA not working. So I have one on the truck that I took out of another air handler. I'm going to go run and grab it real quick and let's see what happens. I'll be right back. Alright, well I'm back, and the CDA I have on the truck is for the outdoor unit with the XV system, which I don't think it'll respond, nor will it plug together, because those are both female plugs. So I'm just going to try to plug it up to see if I got a display or something, but for whatever reason this CDA is not working on this unit. So there you go. I could check continuity on the harness, I suppose, just to make sure. That I don't have a harness problem. There's the rain just starting to come down. I ain't worried about it. If it's still pouring when I leave, we'll just, when I finish up here, we'll come back and check the charge on another day. I'm pretty sure it's okay. Needle point probes. In there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the harness for the CDA from this board, and I'm going to try to go through and check continuity on each one of these wires, make sure there's not a plug problem. Then I'm going to check my voltage output. So we will set this to continuity. There's the thunder. Okay. Black wire first. It's hard to maneuver two of these together. So I'm not getting continuity on this black wire. Alright guys, it helps me checking the right plug. The other one I was doing would go to the damn blower motor, which the blower obviously lost power when I did that, but the colors are the same. Red, green, white, black. I just assumed that was it. So we're going to check this harness now. We're going to go red to red. We've got continuity there. We're going to go green to green. We got continuity there. I'm going to go white to white. And then we're going to go black to black. No continuity. But if you look at what I'm seeing here, right there, this wire is loose. It's not going all the way in. So let's see if we can somehow get that to snap back into place. And I find that a lot on a lot of these terminals and these plugs. Sometimes these wires didn't snap tight when they were putting them into the plug connector. And then you get one that's not making a connection, or it comes loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that one in place while I plug this back up. Make sure it's on there good. We'll plug this back to the board and see if we have a display. Of course, it takes the CDA being plugged back in. And voila, we have a display. So yeah guys, sometimes it's just a loose wire in a pin plug. I mean, that's all it was that wire going into the back of this plug right here. It was not pushed in all the way. Now we have a connection and we have a fault code that is gone, so I can get this door back on. To reset that thermostat again to put it into a display or a delay. Let me get this door back on, and then go into the CDA and make sure everything is set up properly for our tonnage and our airflow. And I really wish they'd come up with a better idea for these doors. Damn Phillips head screws. They fall out. You'll lose one. We keep a kit on every truck that has extra screws and there's extra metal clips that fall out. If you pull the screw out, pull the door off at an angle, the clip comes out, falls down into coil in a drain pan somewhere. You think they would have made that with a tab that actually holds it in place so it doesn't fall out, but no. Why in the world would they do that? So let's go in here and check our setup on this thing. And then we can get it on and get it running. Alrighty. Configuration. So we're in constant CFM, airflow mode. Heat pump, 4 tons. This is a 2-stage unit, so 2-stage single compressor, 2-in-1. Continuous fan, it's going to be 35%. I ain't worried about that. Cooling CFM per ton, we're at 350. I'm going to turn that up just a hair to 370. And it's going to give us a better balance. I mean, this is a 2-stage system, so it's going to run in single stage for a good little while before it goes into 2nd stage. So you really don't have to reduce that airflow that much. If it was going to run in 1 speed from start to finish, then I would maybe 350, 360 CFM. I'm going to set this one on 380 because it's already going to run 70% of total airflow anyway when it's in 1st stage. And then when it's in 2nd stage and it ramps up to full speed, it'll run 380 CFM per ton. So over 4 tons, it's going to be 80 CFM less. So instead of running 1600, we'll run 1520. And that'll be perfectly fine. It'll give you a little bit of added dehumidification with your cooling rather than running wide open. Like I said, we're not in Arizona. It's not dry here. It rains a lot in the summer. It's real humid here, real muggy, high dew points. So you really need to set that airflow where it's doing a little bit more of a dehumidification job than 400 CFM is going to do. Because the house feels a whole lot better if you're getting more water out of it. So we're going to set that there. We're going to set our enhanced blower profile to CLPR4, which is going to be the dehumidification profile where it runs 50%, 80%, then 100% over a period of time. It kind of graduates up to 100% airflow. That also helps with dehumidification on these units. And then heat CFM per ton, we'll leave that at 400, and then we'll set this also for the same enhanced airflow setting. You'll get a little bit of that low discharge heating, airflow a little bit lower for a couple of minutes, maximize the heat off of that coil, then it'll ramp up and do its thing. Electric heat, and we are in park, so I have to go in and set this thing up real quick for how many stages of heat we have, or because if you do not do that and you leave it in park, it will at some point. So we've got 2 relays in here. We are running 10 kW heat strips in this air handler, so I'm going to set that for 10K. Now the air handler knows what heat strips are in there, and I've got to make sure it's wired correctly here for just 2 relays, because if you set it up for the number of relays in there that you're energizing, so you got 2 relays, and this thing's going to have a W1 wire, W2, and a W3 wire. If you just wire nut all those together and jump them all together and all 3 of those energize, but you've told it that there's only 10 kW strips in it, then it's going to throw a configuration fault. So our blower's back on. I'm going to connect my Y back over here. Outdoor unit is just coming on now. But yeah, so if you set this up for 2 stages of heating, and you got 10 kW, you got 2 relays. This has got a W1, W2, and a W3 wire. If you energize all 3 of them, but the air handler knows there's only 2 relays in there, it'll start to throw a configuration fault. So anyway, let's wait for this thing to come back on and get my static pressure checked. Alright, so we got our CDA problem fixed. And there's the damn phone ringing again. Alrighty, so we got this thing running. And we got our static over here. Got the CDA back on. So 0.3 on the return. Got a 0.15 on the supply. So our static is good. I'm going to check my temperature split just a little further down. I don't like checking it right there because there's all kinds of air disruption going on in here. So I'm going to check it at a supply over there further down the trunk line. May need to adjust the charge. Hopefully it'll stay off long enough for me to, or the rain will hold off long enough for me to go outside and check the refrigerant charge. That's my headlamp getting weak there. It goes up and down like that. Let me put it on a lower setting. But here, inspectors, even though it says on the sticker, air leaking from this cabinet is normal. It's designed for that. We have to seal this with silicone because the inspectors here tell us that that's efficiency loss and they fail the inspection. You gotta love inspectors, jacks of all trade, and don't know a damn thing about any of them. So anyway, I'm gonna seal that up. We're gonna try to go outside and check a refrigerant charge on this. Alright guys, we made it back outside. The rain stopped. There's another another line of those storms. We're getting ready to come through here in a few minutes. Luckily enough, I had time to come back out here real quick. I didn't anticipate having to track down a problem with the wire and the CDA not working. So that took a few extra minutes than I expected, but this unit calls for 8 degrees subcooling. It's 2-stage. We've got it running in 2nd stage right now. Always make sure you've got this unit running in 2nd stage before you try to add any refrigerant. Don't do it when it's in 1st stage, because I'm gonna have to add a little bit. That line set goes up this wall, then up into that attic up there and across over to where the air handler is. So I am gonna have to add a little bit. But when I had it in 1st stage, my subcooling was running 3.5. So you don't want to add refrigerant to a 2-stage, especially one of these Trane 2-stage units, unless you go into the thermostat, put it in test mode. If it's not coming on immediately in 2nd stage, or you don't want to wait forever, you go into your test mode, go ahead and stick it in 2nd stage, get the compressor ramped up, get the airflow ramped up full speed, then you can come out here and set your charge. So we're going to put a little bit in there and see if we can get that subcooling up to 8. But other than that, everything in this unit's set up right. It's working right. Just need to get this charge set. So anyway, that's two startups back to back, and nice rainy, thundery, lightning day, and we've still got work to do. So anyway, appreciate it guys. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.